Good morning. Welcome back to a new video. So today I'm actually going to be working on my first project up at the ranch house in a while. Like, it's been months since I've worked up there, but I have a project planned for this one little space, so I'm going to get that done. It is like a focal point kind of. Well, it's not really a focal point. Whenever you walk in the door, it's one of the first things you see, and it's like all exposed plywood, and I want to try a technique on it to see if it helps cover it like in a really affordable way. So that's what we're gonna do today. I already ran to Lowe's, got what I needed as far as materials go. I got my little ladder right here. I got my paint roller, my little, what is this called? Scraping textured handle knife, whatever the heck this is. These things are sharp though, you guys. Always be careful when you're using these. If you don't use a plastic one and you use metal, be careful. I sliced my hand wide open with this one time, so be careful. I have gloves. I bought gloves to wear. Safety first, right? So anyway, let's go. Today's video is kindly sponsored by Decenio, and I will share a little bit more about Decenio later on in the video. All right, y'all, so I'm up here. I got my texture that I needed. So this is called roll-on texture. It's a smooth white. I also got a roller to apply it. I got some paper to roll out so that way I don't get it all over the floor. Got some tape and then a rolling tray. Oh, and I have my little roller here as well and some gloves. So hopefully this doesn't take too long. It sounds like it's fixing to pour down rain. So I'm gonna try my best to get started and get as much done as I can before it starts storming. Okay, so before you think I'm absolutely crazy for doing this, I wanted to include a few pictures of my inspiration so you could see kind of like the idea I had going into this project. I really love the look of a stone wall with like a lot of texture. I think it looks so pretty and very unique. I don't know, I love that look, so I was trying really hard to accomplish that here. And one thing I learned about this roll-on texture is that it's very smooth but also very messy. So go ahead and account for having to make sure you have plenty of plastic or paper to lay down. I laid down a little bit of paper, but I definitely should have done more because even when you think you're doing a pretty good job, you're still going to get drips and stuff, although it does wipe up really easily. So I wouldn't worry too much if you do get it on like a hard floor surface, but you know, just to save you time, definitely lay down way more paper than I did. Now, I did want to mention I'm using the scraper because I was trying to go for that DIY plaster look, but you can also use a roller to apply this and it will give a texture on the wall. I just personally did not like the texture that it was giving, so that's why I went with this, this method. But there's so many different ways that you can apply this to get different looks. Just do your research. You can search it on Google, on YouTube. Trust me, there's lots of videos out there. All right, so it is working really well. It's not fully dry, so I'll still be able to go over and like skim it to get rid of like all these lines, which is my goal. I want it to kind of look like texture, but not like I textured it, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go through and smooth that out, but I needed a quick break. I'm sweating like crazy. Oh, and it's starting to thunder. I hope it rains because that'd be really nice. I'll just go out there and stand in the rain. But I still have to do this part and then along this side, but making really good progress. It's only taken me about like maybe an hour so far, which I feel like that's not too bad. Okay, it is going to be my goal this year to get a little tool pouch for my car because I don't have one. Oh, is this too big? Oh, it's gonna work. Butter knife for the win.
Another season we leave behind, another story that's got me blind. Got only you on my mind.
Once I got the entire wall coated, I went back in with my scraper and kind of scraped away those really harsh lines. That way it looked a little bit more smooth and a little bit more intentional. All right, so making pretty good progress here. As you can see, it's very textured. That's the whole point. I'm trying to cover up that wood plywood. I would rather it be like purposely textured than the look of just exposed plywood painted. So that was the goal. There's a little touch-ups I need to do, but I'll have to do that once this is fully dry. So I'm gonna give this time to kind of like soak in and cure, and then I'll go in again tomorrow with a second coat, or you know, however many coats I need until I get the look that I want. But it's looking a lot better already without all that like yellow plywood showing, or orange, whatever color. See, like this is what it looks like over here, and then on this side we still have the exposed plywood. So see the difference? It's already looking much better. Y'all, it literally just like flooded. The rain came out of nowhere. Oh. I'm stuck. Ah. 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 I can't go through the water. We're in Mommy's car.
What's not supposed to go through the car? And plus,
Because I'm stuck. Alright, y'all. We are on day 3 of working on the ranch house wall. This one wall is being such a pain in the butt. My original technique did not work. I tried to go up there yesterday and apply more, and I tried to paint it, and it just wasn't working. So we're moving on to plan B. So I'm gonna run to Lowe's, grab my materials, head up there, and hopefully tackle this wall today. Once I got all my materials unloaded, or most of the materials, I'm going to go ahead and measure out the wall for my first cut. These boards that I purchased are really cheap. They're $14.98 a piece. They are 4 by 8 foot, and these ceilings are not quite 8 foot, so I did have to cut a few inches off. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that out, get everything marked, and then I will start making my first cuts. I wanted to take a moment and thank Desenio for sponsoring today's video. If you have never heard of Desenio, it is a Swedish brand that offers a wide range of affordable wall art that is always in line with the latest design trends. Not only does Desenio offer a very large variety of prints and frames, they also have a really awesome design tool that I think will help you tremendously, and I would definitely recommend trying it out. So here on their website, you can do a step-by-step gallery wall, and I think this is just awesome. Sometimes creating a gallery wall can be very daunting. Sometimes it can be hard to figure out what size print you need and where to position each photo, what frame color to choose from. So having this as a tool to be able to use is a great way to customize a gallery wall for your space. Once you place your order, Desenio delivers in just 2 to 4 business days, and they offer free shipping on orders over $45. I am going to be honest with you guys, I was a little skeptical at first, but I was really blown away when I opened up the packaging and I got to see the prints and the frames and how well made everything is. The frames themselves are made out of solid wood, and they all come with transparent acrylic plexiglass, which is lightweight and shatterproof. I really appreciate that, especially since there's a lot of children and pets that come up here, so it just gives you that peace of mind in case there's ever an accident and a frame does fall. You don't have to worry about it shattering. I'm going to go ahead and start putting all the prints in the frames and kind of playing around with the layout, but I did want to share with you a quick discount code. The code is Karrie Lynn, and that will get you 45% off prints. This excludes personalized prints and canvases, and my code is valid until January 20th. I will have Decenio linked down below in the description box, and make sure you stay tuned till a little bit later in the video when I put these frames on the wall. It is just stunning, and I'm so happy with the way it turned out. Jumping back into the project, I'm going to go ahead and get my first panel in position, and guess what? It was not cut right. I actually did not measure correctly, so I had to take it back out and cut it again. And to make matters worse, I also didn't realize that the ceiling was slanted, so my original cut is really messed up, but thankfully we will be installing trim, so no biggie. Okay, so these boards are very light. They're not heavy at all, but the struggle is that they're flimsy. So trying to get them level, hold them in place, and nail them by myself was no easy task. I was definitely struggling here. By the end of this one, I probably got enough cardio to fulfill my entire year's worth of workouts. It was a lot of work, but I got her in place, nailed it up, and it was completely crooked. But best news is that it doesn't really matter because once I put trim up, it's all going to be hidden. So just keep that in mind if you are installing these boards. Keep an account if the cut's a little messed up. I wouldn't stress it. When you add the trim over top, you're going to have a little wiggle room. The little trim boards that I will be using are 1x2s, and I also used a 1x4 on the top. So it took care of the big gap that I had, which I'll show you guys that in just a minute. It's kind of funny watching that back because I was really winded. I was like, why is this so hard? And then check out my jagged cut. And at the top of the other cut, you can see that's when I realized that the ceiling was angled. And I was like, how did I not notice that? But that's what you get for being amateur, honestly. I mean, I don't do this kind of stuff for a living. I mean, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. I don't know. To be honest, I'm just steadily winging it. Every time I try a project like this, it's usually my first time trying whatever I'm doing, and it never comes out perfectly, but that's okay. It always ends up looking good at the end, and I'm proud to say that. So, I know you're probably watching this thinking, what in the world are you doing? Just trust the process, I promise. It turns out really nice. It just takes a little bit of the ugly duckling to turn into the beautiful swan. Now, a few things to note. I am using my Craftsman 18 gauge brad nailer. I love this tool. I don't know how I lived so many years without it. I use it for everything. Every time something's messed up, where's my nail gun? It fixes everything. Absolutely love it. Highly, highly recommend if you are doing any type of DIY project or planning to. This is such a great tool to have on hand. And here you can see I'm taking my 8-foot 1x4 boards, and I will be using this. Wait a second, that's a 1x3. Oh my gosh, I said 1x4 earlier. Oh well, y'all get the point. I'm using these really inexpensive trim boards to trim it out to make it look seamless. Beautiful. Beautiful! Woo! Now, the goal here is to cover up those seams. So instead of having to go through and try to mud them and sand them and make a huge mess, which I know after doing that whole roll-on texture that is not my forte. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply these trim boards right over the seams and then create just a very simple accent wall so that way it was, number one, affordable and quick. Okay, it's done. The accent wall's done. Looks so much better with like a flat, smooth wall. So now I just need to prime, and then I can paint, and this whole wall will be finished. It's gonna be beautiful. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't prime. I skipped this step. Number one reason was to save more money, but also because I feel like this Valspar paint and primer mix does a great well. I can't even laugh, I'm coughing so much. What I was trying to say is that it does a great job at covering without primer, in my opinion. I love it. It's a Valspar paint and primer mix. This is the color Pashmina by Benjamin Moore, and this is an eggshell finish. So there is hardly any shine to it, which I personally love, but it's not flat, so you can still wipe it down pretty easy. And now I'm going to go ahead and hang up the new artwork from Decenio. Earlier in the video, I did mention that this video was sponsored by them, and I am so honored to work with them today and so thankful that they were able to sponsor this video and help make this project happen. So a huge shout out goes to them, and I will be sure to have their link at the top of my description box so it's easy to find. That way you can shop their website and find some beautiful artwork for your space as well. But I'm going to go ahead and get these frames up on the wall and then style the rest of the space. I did end up pulling a couch over here to the wall, or love seat, I guess. All this was already up here. I am going to be using items that I already had on hand, once again, to save money for this project, because whenever it comes to renovating spaces like this, it can get expensive. I know that. I've done plenty of projects in the past, and moving forward, my goal is to not only keep those affordable, but also make sure I'm using items I have, so that way nothing goes to waste. So I'm also using an old rug that I used to have in my living room years ago. I had it rolled up and I saved it all this time, and I'm super excited to be able to use that up here. I feel like it really just brightened the floor, and it kind of helped hide a lot of that ugly concrete, so that was nice. Alright y'all, so here is my favorite part, the before and afters. So here's a few before clips, and this is what it looks like currently. As you can see, it looks so much nicer, much more bright. Feels like a home away from home, which is what we all want the space to feel like. So I'm really happy with this little space so far. There's still a ton of work that needs to be done though, so definitely keep that in mind. But my plan is to work on small spaces like this instead of trying to do everything all at once. Number one, just to kind of keep it more affordable for myself and to not wear myself out like I have in the past. Many of you have already watched my previous ranch house makeovers, and those projects wore me out. I'll be the first to admit it. I overdid it, which then led to me wanting to take a super long break and just not even want to work on anything else. So learning from those mistakes, moving forward, I just want to work a little bit slower and just pace myself and really enjoy slower, smaller projects a little bit more. So thank you guys for being here and understanding that. I really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Make sure you're subscribed, and here's a few other videos you may be interested in that you might have missed. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye y'all.